Hello, my algebra students. This is Mr. Knight 2.4, and we are looking at multi-step equations. So I'm trying to get my marker here. So there are no vocabulary words. Yay, no vocabulary words. Okay, so let's look at example 1. We're going to solve an equation by combining like terms. All right. So here's our equation: 17x minus 11x plus 8 is equal to 20. So that is our equation that we're going to solve. All right, so the first thing you do is write the original equation, all right? Then you need to combine your like terms, and what you're combining is the 17x minus 11x, all right? So 17 minus 11. And if you're not familiar or do not remember about combining like terms, remember when you're looking at, I'm trying to get a different marker. Oh, uh-oh. Looks like it's froze. Okay, I'm back. It looked like it was froze. Couldn't do anything. So sorry about that. Yep, there you go. Okay, it was froze. All right, so anyway, combining like terms, when you're looking at like terms, if it's a constant, meaning the 8 is a constant, 20 is a constant, those you can add and subtract all day long. But when you have a variable involved, these variable terms, remember there were two requirements. It had to be the same variable. Well, it is the same x, but then the exponent for each one of those variables had to be the same also. So the exponent for both of these x's are 1, therefore these are like terms, and I can add and subtract them all day long. And when you're adding and subtracting, you're just looking at the coefficient, and you're doing whatever the operation is between them. So in this case, it would be 17 minus 11, which would give you 6, all right? So that's how they got the 6x, all right? And then we're going to use the subtraction property equality. So you're going to subtract 8 from both sides, and this gives you 12 on this side. That cancels, so you're left with 6x is equal to 12. Then you are dividing 6 on both sides. The 6's on the left will cancel. Actually, it gives you 1. 1 times x would be just x. And then 12 minus 6 is, or 12 divided by 6 would equal 2. So that is my answer. So then, shame on them, they did not do their check. So let's do our check real quick. So I'm going to start from the combining like terms, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So I have 6x plus 8 is equal to 20. 6 times 2 plus 8 is equal to 20. I know that's 12 plus 8 is equal to 20, and then 12 plus 8 is 20, and 20 is equal to 20, and therefore I know that that is correct. All right, so let's go on to the next one there. All right, so now solve the equation, check your solution. So I want you to pause the video. You are running through 1 through 4 real quick. Once you finish, start the video back up and we'll check our answers, okay? All right, so let's, I put the answers, but I'm actually going to work these through real quick. So in the first one, x is equal to negative 6. In the second one, x is equal to negative 5. And in the third one, x is equal to 3. Fourth one, x is equal to 7. So let's do number 1 first, all right? So we have 9x minus 13x plus 7 is equal to 31. Combined like terms would give me a negative 4x plus 7 is equal to 31. You're going to subtract 7 from both sides. All right, so I have negative 4x is equal to, what is that? That gives me 24. And then I divide 4 on both sides, and I find out that x is equal to negative 6. And then if I plug that back in, we're going to plug it right back into this point. That would be 4. So I have a negative 4 times the negative 6 plus 7 is equal to 31. So negative 4, so 4 and 6 is 24, and then negative times the negative is positive, so I have 24 plus 7 is equal to 31, and then 31 is equal to 31, right? So we're good on that one. So it sounds like the class bell, so let's do another one here. Now we're going to do 2. All right, so I have 13 minus 5x plus 8x is equal to negative 2. I'm going to combine like terms here, so I have 13 plus 3x is equal to negative 2, and then you're going to subtract 13 from both sides. Subtract 13 from both sides, and I have 3x is equal to negative 15, and then I have divide 3 on both sides, therefore x is going to be equal to negative 5. So let me do our check real quick. So I'm going to start from this point right here. So you have 13 plus 3x is equal to negative 2. I have 13 plus 3 times that negative 5 is equal to negative 2. That gives me negative 15. And this would be plus 13 equals negative 2. And 13 plus the negative 15, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to write right over here. So I have negative 2 equals negative 2. Therefore, I know that my solution for x is correct. So I am going to actually erase these real quick. All right. So if you need to pause it, go ahead and pause it and write this stuff down. But I'm going to go ahead and erase. I tried to pause and hesitate there just a little bit. All right. So now let's look at our next one. We're going to do a red. We're looking at 3. So I have 15x minus 9 minus 8x is equal to 12. So I'm going to combine these two right here. And so I have 15x minus 8x. So that would be 7x positive minus 9 is equal to 12. And then I'm going to add 9 on both sides, right? Cancel. 7x is equal to 21. And then divide 7 on both sides. X is equal to 3. So let me do my check real quick. So my check. And I'm going to start from this point right here. So I have 7 times 3. Minus 9 is equal to 12. 7 times 3 is 21, minus 9 is equal to 12, and 12 is equal to 12. The check works out, therefore I know my answer for x is correct. So now I'm going to change pens here. All right, and we'll purple again. So now we're going to do our last one, number 4. We have 18 minus 2x minus 4x is equal to negative 24. Negative 24. Combine our like terms. I have 18 minus 6x is equal to 24. That's negative 24. So then you're going to subtract 18 from both sides. Subtract 18 from both sides. I have negative 6x is equal to positive 6. Divide both sides by negative 6. Therefore, x is equal to negative 1. So now let me do my check real quick. And I'm going to start it from this point right here. So I have 18 minus 6x is equal to 24. I have 18 minus 6 times negative 1 is equal to 24. I have 18 minus a negative 6 is equal to 24. Subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. Therefore, this gives me 24 is equal to 24. My check works. Therefore, I know my solution for x is negative 1. All right. So let's move on here. See what's next. All right, so solve an equation using the distributive property, all right? So here's our solution, or here's our equation right here. 4x plus 3 times in parentheses 2x minus 1 is equal to 17. So we have one method. So we have 4x plus 3. We go ahead and do the distributive property. That's this piece right here after we distribute the 3. So you have 4x plus 6x minus 3 is equal to 17. So now we're going to combine like terms. That will give us 10x minus 3 is equal to 17. And then you're going to add 3 to both sides. The 3's on this side will cancel. And when you add those, 17 and 3, you get 20. All right. So right now I have 10x is equal to 20. You divide both sides by 10. You find out that x is equal to 2. And if I go ahead and do my check real quick. Okay, so I have 4x plus 3 times 2 x minus 1 is equal to 17. And plug 2 in for x, so I have 4 times 2 plus 3 in parentheses 2, another set of parentheses, a 2 minus 1 is equal to 17. Okay, so now we need to do parentheses first. So I know that that's going to be 8. That's going to be plus a 3. This is going to be 4 minus 1, which gives me a 3, is equal to 17. 3 times 3 is 9, plus the 8 is equal to 17. And I know that, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to write over here. 17 is equal to 17. My check works out, therefore I know that that is correct. So, method 2, do some steps mentally. All right. Sorry about that. I'm going to have to pause, let that nice big church bell, sounds like a church bell going off. All right, so what they mean by mentally is that I'm just doing this distributive property in my head. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times that 1 is a 3. I keep the same operation, which is negative, or subtraction, excuse me. Then mentally, I can look at my like terms. That gives me 10x. The minus 3 is equal to 17. I know that I am adding 3 to both sides. That gives me the 20. 10x is the only thing I have left on the left-hand side. And then I know 10 times what number will give me 20. 10 times 2 would actually give me that number. So that's kind of a mental check for you. So let's see what's next. Do we have anything left? Yes, exercises for you. Yay, you have exercises to do, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I need for you to pause the video, and then once you pause the video and you do, after you work the problems, then I need for you to start the video back up, and then we'll check our answers together, okay? All right, so in number 5, I'm going to do these mentally. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me in the morning or when you come to class again. But x is 4. At least that's what the book says. So we're going to do a mental check of that real quick. 6 would be x is 1, 7, x is 2, and then 8 is going to be negative 6. X is equal to negative 6. So let's do a mental check real quick. This would be, this right here would be 3x minus 12, and then that's plus a 4x, right? So if I add the 3x and the 4x, that gives me 12x. 12x minus 12 is equal to 16. So right now I have 12x is equal to 12x minus 12 is equal to 16. Sorry, kind of confusing there. So I'm going to add 12 to both sides. That gives me 12. What's that? 28 on this side. All right. Sorry, my fault. Let's go back and do this mental thing again. So 3x and 4x is like, wait, that's something's not working out here. So I have 3x and 4x. That gives me 7x, right? That's not 12x. 7x, there you go. Minus the 12 is equal to 16. Add 12 to both sides. So right now I have 7x and 28. And I know that's x has got to be equal to 4, so I know that that checks out. So now let's do the mental math here. I know that this right here would be minus 18x, and that would be plus 18 is equal to 9, and that's a 9x. So if I look at 9x minus 18x, that right there would be negative 9x, right? So negative 9x plus 18 is equal to 9. Subtract 18 from both sides, and you have negative 9x is equal to a negative 9, and therefore x has to be 1. All right, so that works out. So let's look at number 7 here. If I do my distributive property, you have 21x minus 7, and that's plus a negative 2x. All right. If I look at combining like terms, I'm taking 2 away from 21, so I know that this is 19x, right? 19x on this side. And I'm going to be adding 7 to both sides, so that gives me 38 on that side. And I know 19 times what value gives me 38, and that has to be 2. So that works out. So let's do number 8 here, last one. My distributive property would be 10x plus 8 minus 6x, and I know that's all equal to 16. And then if I look at combining like terms, I end up with 4x left over, plus 8 is equal to 16, and you're going to subtract. Did we miss something here? 4x plus 8. Oh, I'm sorry, this is plus. My fault. 40. 5, and that's 40. My fault. That's 40. So actually that would be 40 right there. And then I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides. And so this would actually be 24. That's a 4x, and that's a negative 24. And that, therefore, 4 times what value gives me negative 24. 4 times that negative 6. So I know that that checks out. All right. So, sorry about that. Let's see what's next. Yep, I think we got another one here. And then I think you have a few more examples to do. Anyway, this is multiplied by a reciprocal. If you remember reciprocal, if I give you value 2, the reciprocal of that would be 1/2. And then the reciprocal of 1/2 would be, just reverse that again, would be 2. Reciprocal of 3/4, that would be 4/3. So all you're doing is flipping the number, if you will. So here's my equation. 3/4 times in parentheses 5x minus 4 is equal to 12. All right. So what they're doing is they're going to multiply both sides by 4/3 first, because 4 times 3 is 12, 3 times 4 is 12, 12 over 12 is 1, therefore these cancel each other, that equals 1. 1 times any value is still the same value you started with. So you're left with just 5x minus 4 on the left. And then I look at this piece right here. Well, I know that I can simplify before I actually multiply. So 3 and 12, I can simplify that to 4. 3 goes into 12 4 times, and then 4 times 4 right there would be 16. All right, and then you're adding 4 to both sides would be 5x is equal to 20, and then divide both sides by 5, and you find out that x is 4. And then if you want to do our check real quick, so let's check. We have 3/4 times 5x minus 4 is equal to 12. 3/4 times 5 times the value of 4 minus 4 is equal to 12. If I look at this piece right here, that would be 16. All right, so I have 3/4 times 16 is equal to 12. And I can reduce that and make it a 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. So 12 is equal to 12, right? So you could have gone ahead. I mean, there are two ways to do this. Multiplying by the reciprocal, which is the way we did it. You did that first, and then you simplified or went ahead and solved the rest of the equation. The other way is that you could have gone ahead and multiplied if you want, but if you notice, these are not real nice numbers. Therefore, you would have had a bunch of mess in the middle of it. A bunch of fractions, and then it becomes a little bit more difficult. So I think before you even start is to look at that to see if you can multiply and you have nice numbers to work with where it's an actual integer and not some fraction, then you can do it if you want to. But if you multiply these numbers together and you're dealing with fractions, then you might think about multiplying both sides by the reciprocal to get rid of that fraction. Okay, so let's see what's next here. Yep, you have 9, 10, 11, and 12. So these are your exercises, and this is the end of it. So go ahead and work through those exercises. Pause the video, work through them. Once you finish, start the video back up, and then we'll check our answers together. Okay, so the book says, and we're actually going to check these, but the book says that number 9, x is 29. Number 10, y is equal to negative 8. Number 11, z is equal to negative 5. And 12, m is equal to negative 12. All right, so let's go ahead and look at number 9 real quick. We'll do that one first. So I have 1/2 times x minus 11 is equal to 9. All right. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. All right. So I know that those cancel. It equals 1. I'm left with x minus 11 is equal to 18. Add 11 to both sides. X is equal to 29. All right. So that's one way to do it. Now if we look at 10. So we're looking at 10 now, so we just did that one. So let's look at 10. So we have negative 3/2 times 2y plus 6 is equal to 15. All right, I am going to multiply by the reciprocal, which would be negative 2/3 on both sides. Okay, don't want to put a point there. And then we're going to, this thing keeps stopping on me. I'm not sure why. I guess it's the processing. So give me just a second here. Maybe I can just tell you a joke to keep your mind occupied until this wants to start back up again. All right, come on. Come back to me. Oh, man. Sorry about this, guys. Technology at its best, right? All right, let's go. There we go. Okay, so we multiply by the reciprocal, which was negative 2/3. That equals 1 on that side. Come on. There you go. Maybe I should just write slower. So I have 2y plus 6 is equal to, and if I see I can simplify this, so this would be negative 10, all right? And so then I'm going to subtract 6, so I have 2y is equal to negative 16, therefore y is equal to negative 8. So that works out. So I'm just going to have to go a little bit slower. Okay, let's look at, so we did 10. Let's look at 11 real quick. So I'm going to do 11 right here, and this will be 12 right here. This was your 10 right there, and that one was your 9. Let me get a different color. So we got blue this time. All right, so we have negative 15 is equal to 5/7 times 4z minus 1. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, 7/5. I can't put this in, so let's do this. 7 over 5 multiply, and that is a negative 15, right? So then these will equal 1. I am left with 4z minus 1 is equal to, simplify this. This will give me negative 3. 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. Then I am going to add 1 to both sides. That'll give me negative 20 is equal to 4z. And I find out that z is equal to negative 5. All right, so I know that that works out. So 11 is good. So let's look at 12, the very last one. All right, maybe this can hang on before it wants to hang up again. So we have 36 is equal to negative 3/4, all right, times in parentheses 5m plus 12. All right, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, negative 4/3 on both sides, negative 4/3 on both sides. So this will equal 1, and you are left with just 5m plus, what was that, 12? Almost looks like here. I need to write this better. 12, sorry. And then on this side, I'm going to simplify a little bit. This would give me 1 and a 2, 12, so I have negative 48 is equal to 5m plus 12. I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. So I'm going to get negative 60 is equal to 5m. Divide both sides by 5. And I've got negative 12 is equal to m. Therefore, that works out. So all those answers were correct. So I'm pretty sure. I'm going to check right here. Yep, that was it. So back a page, back a page. Yep, there you go. So that's the end of 2.5. And so have a beautiful day. And we'll see you for the next video.